Assalamu alaikum, girls. Today is your last section on chapter 1, which is types and components of computer systems. We will be continuing with the impact of emerging technologies and we will wrap it up today, inshallah. So, as you know, we were looking at what are the different emerging technologies. Emerging means something that's coming up and currently becoming a trend in the research field and the academic and industrial fields. And we were looking at how they can impact our lives in a good way and a bad way. And we were trying to see what are the different impacts they have. So let's continue from before. One of the emerging technology fields that has recently very much come up in the past few years in various industries, in manufacturing, in education, and so on, is the robotics industry, where robots can be programmed to do specific tasks or even for manual use, and that once a robot has been programmed, no human intervention is required for the robot to further work. And we find that these robots can actually complete tasks with very precise accuracy, unlike a human might be able to do. So, this is why you can see that robot assisted surgeries have become very much a breaking field in medicine. And the thing about robots is that they can also work in extremely difficult, harsh conditions, which might be very dangerous for human beings. So, for example, I can give you that in a nuclear testing facility, it is required for the test operator to sometimes move the very radioactive uranium from one place to another. So he cannot do this, but instead, because it is very dangerous due to high levels of radiation, instead we can program the robot to do this task and which can then be completed very safely and easily. And you will also find that in some car manufacturing industries, robots have completely taken over and they manufacture the car from the entire scratch to the entire end product. So these are also some things that you will find robots able to do in manufacturing industries. If you think of what else can a robot do in a factory, it can also lift heavy items which might be difficult for humans to do. It can do any sort of an assembly line production or any sort of joining parts together with glue, by welding, using melting metal, and so on. And even you will find that robots can paint the whole car or the whole product and so on. So this is an example of a picture I have here for you. The second emerging technology we are discussing today is quantum cryptography. At least one of these words you would have heard in some sci-fi movies. A cryptography means it is the process where you make a message unintelligible to any hacker or any outside person rather than the sender and the receiver. This is done by quantum way, means that the physical quantum properties are used to produce an unbreakable cryptography. This means that your data is going to be transported over fiber optic cables, and then your data will not be intelligible to anybody except you and the receiver, and a hacker will not understand what message you have been sending. Further details of this we will read from our textbook, inshallah. The third emerging technology we are discussing today is computer assisted translation. So, for example, look at this sentence here: fruit flies like a banana. If you give this sentence to a computer might be confused because it has multiple interpretations or meanings for this sentence. It could mean that there is a fruit and that fruit is flying, and the flying of that fruit is like the flying of a banana. Another meaning for this sentence can be, as you know, there is a fly called a fruit fly, like house fly, fruit fly, and these fruit flies are like a banana. These are two interpretations of this sentence. So when an ambiguous sentence like this comes, how does a computer understand how this sentence must be translated? This is done using computer assisted translation, which means you have special software that is developed which learns from previous translations to make new translations using translation memories. That means it will automatically insert known translations, and this might not end up in a perfect translation, but it might be better than the current word to word translation you have. So, for example, many of you would have used Google Translate to sometimes translate between English and Arabic, and something that is written in Arabic might tend to be something very different and unrelated in English. So, this is to solve this problem, we use computer assisted translation, where each time the computer makes a mistake in the translation, we correct for it so that every future time the computer will remember that translation and then translate correctly. The next emerging technology we have is 3D or holographic imaging. At least you must have seen pictures of this in some movies where you see holographic images. This is where a picture is printed onto your airspace as a 3D image, and you would have seen 3D meetings being conducted this way and so on. So this is done using the laws of physics, using a laser beam and some objects and mirrors. And you can read more about this as well. This is another area of an emerging technology which computers and ICT have made possible. Your mini project for finishing off this lesson and this topic on emerging technologies is to design a poster which has to be in A3 size. You can either do this on paper or use this link given here. This link will help you to create posters online, and you can just send me the link to the poster you have created. You have to choose one emerging technology of your choice. It has to talk about, your poster should talk about what that emerging technology does, how it works, how it is used today, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of that emerging technology. As mentioned in the previous lesson, to prepare fully for your exams, you need to be aware of the common emerging technologies we have, because every year Cambridge comes up with a new question asking you about a new technology after giving you some piece of information about it. So always keep updated your technical knowledge. You can use these sites given here. To end chapter 1, I have a Kahoot quiz for you that summarizes the whole chapter. Inshallah, the link for this will be sent to you as well. That's all for today, girls. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.